You can't hear me yet because I didn't turn on my camera. Hi, good evening. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Walter. Hi, Francie. How are you guys? I kind of popped in a minute early just to kind of get started. Yep, I said you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can we hear me now? I'll change it if I can't. Oh, look at my phone just said it works, so my TV works. So, yeah, yeah. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Kate. I know I heard it on my TV, so you guys must be able to hear me now. I turned my volume down. Mari, sorry, checking in, just making sure everyone's good to go. Yeah, I forgot that I have to turn my camera on for you to be able to hear me. Yeah. Hi, Isis. Hello, everybody. All righty. Let me switch my little camera around. Got a little sneak peek out my window there tonight, trying to let some breeze in. This is the card we're going to make tonight. And I'm going to move my mouse out of the way. Awesome. Clear and loud enough. All right. Well, I'll be closer to the mic now because I'm going to turn my screen just a hair. So this is the card we're going to make tonight. I'm using the Kindness Matters bundle, which I linked in the below and in the above in the chat. And then we're going to use some of the subscription products, which I also linked. I linked the pick 5. That way you could kind of choose what you wanted. I also wanted to let you know up in the right corner, up here, this one up here, kind of point to the right way. Yeah, there's the today's flash sale, I believe, that is still going on. So before we get all started, I'm going to go ahead and get the messy stuff done. Yes, happy hump day. I got a piece of aqua pigment paper here, and we're going to get this done so this one starts drying, because this would be the wet, messy part. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my little splat box here. I do have one done. We're just going to use some chroma mists. I've got Bumblebee Yellow, Tangerine Orange, Pearl, and Yellow Orange. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I made my sample card, I literally went through my box of backgrounds and chose one. And I knew that what I used for it. I knew it was sprays and I knew it had Pearl. So that's what we're going to make. So I'm going to start with a little bit of water. Okay. Hope everyone's doing well. If we get done with this card tonight early, I will pull out some of the Stencilpalooza stencils and we can play with those. So that's just some water. I'm going to go ahead and heavily spray this with the Bumblebee Yellow because that's a very light yellow. So this card will be obviously a little bit different than my sample because of the colors. It's always different. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this yellow orange, which doesn't show much of a difference. It's just a very light difference. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab Pearl, but I'm going to shake this up a little bit because you can kind of see here. You got a little bit of the shimmer powder and stuff in the bottom, and I want to get that kind of mixed up. If you don't mix it up, you can tend to get some clumping and it doesn't spray quite as smoothly. And I have some because I didn't pay attention close. So I'm going to kind of mix that up and I'm going to spray it kind of off to the side here a little bit. And then because this one is a little bit like that, I might get a little bit, but I found a fix for it. So I'm going to go ahead and spray. And you can kind of see it's kind of more sprayy versus misty. And that's, like I said, because I had that little bit of, I didn't mix it well, so I probably got a little bit in the bottom of that. So make sure when you have those ones with that you mix them really well. But what I found, I'm going to go back with the Bumblebee Yellow first. This is very wet. That's why I'm using the aqua pigment paper because it takes to water well. And you won't see the shimmer right away, but that helps spread it out a little bit more. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this tangerine orange and I'm going to spray that off to the side. And this is very dramatic difference. So we're just going to kind of add a little bit here. And then this is also where I grabbed one of the other oranges. This one's yellow orange. And I just kind of misted it, kind of to spread that color out a little bit. I'll bring it up a little closer so you can kind of see what I mean. So I don't have, so there's just like little bits and bobbles. So I'm going to bring that up kind of close. So we've got lots of fun swirlies, you know, and then I'm just going to put this off to the side to dry because I have one that's done. Now, full disclosure, the one that's done, I have done, this is a smaller piece of aqua pigment paper. This was just left over in my stash. The A2 size is what's available. This was something I've had for a long time, but I wanted to use it up, and we only need a little bit. So this is a little bit longer and skinnier, but like I said, it's the same stuff, it's just longer. I do not know what the Stencilpalooza was today, and I'm thinking, Amy, that right now, there might be. I know that Restream sometimes there's an issue with the uploads here or there. It just takes a little bit to refresh. So if it doesn't get released tonight, probably be released tomorrow. Okay. Um, I did not listen to all the live today. I couldn't, and so I don't know what the response was from that. But I did check before I was live, and I did see it was not released as of yet. So if not, it most likely tomorrow we'll have both. Okay. Otherwise, you can always email orders@brutusmonroe.com, and Heather can get back to you tomorrow. Okay. This is the Fall Floral stamp set. It is in the box, the Funky Florals. It comes with these fabulous dies and stencils. I am not using these tonight, but I will use these very soon. Okay. But tonight what we're going to do is use the big, beautiful floral. Yep. It's slow to upload. Yep. Sometimes especially when there's a lot of people online. I know and there was a lot of people during the sale today. So thank you, Isis, because I wasn't sure. I was trying to listen, but I was busy with other stuff today, phone calls and work. So I didn't get to hear it all. I'm going to go ahead and take my Misty out here. We're going to just kind of stick this down on a spot. I think I'm gonna switch this around because I want a little bit more of this orange. And I'm just gonna plop it in here. So, yes, there's probably a lot. Yes, it was. Yeah, someone did win $1,000. Yes, they did. It was not me, I promise. Hi, Christy. I'm glad you made it. All right, I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool. I'm going to heat this. I'm going to stamp this really well. It doesn't have to be, but I tried to do it. Like I said, I did this a little bit earlier. You couldn't watch today, so you're getting ready for. Oh yes, Kate, be very safe for that. I know I'm my daughter's lucky this time. It's gonna miss her, but I literally just re-inked my embossing ink pad just before we went live. It probably needs a little bit more just because I use it a lot and straight out, but I'm gonna stamp this several times. The other reason I'm gonna stamp this several times, oh, I can feel it. It's pretty sticky. It's because this is watercolor paper, and watercolor paper has a little texture, and it's always nicer to stamp a couple of times and you get that copy. Yeah, is Britney Spears here tonight? It's all right. It happens, Christy. We knew it was you. I'm just going to go ahead and use my little press tool here. And that is from a friend of mine. Her name is Treasure. I'm just going to go ahead, press this down a couple times. We're going to die cut out of this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We can pick and choose. Hi, Michelle. I apologize for the little bit of the shaken table. I'm using this old, beautiful farmer's table. I hope you guys are okay with that. It's better than my desk. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this off to the side. And then I have some construction. I have a piece of copy. I shut my camera off. All right, grabbing a piece of scratch paper. So trying to catch up with all the comments there. You feel like yourself now. Yes. So, okay. Yep, there goes the TV. So give it just a minute and it will catch up. I'm going to go ahead and we are going to use the embossing powder of the month. This is the Glistening Leaves. Like I said, it comes in the brown bags, and I buy the extra wide mouth jars to put them in. And then I just take the lid off and put them in there. Look at how pretty this is. That's why we used a little bit of that orange. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cover this whole piece. Now I did die cut out off camera, so we wouldn't have to do that and move my die cut machine over here. But we'll do most everything else tonight. Yeah. Oh, you're in the Tampa, so you're out of the area. Okay, I wasn't sure, Kate. I knew that it was going to be. I know my daughter's over on the other coast, so she should be pretty good this time. All right. So yeah, I love this one too. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside for a second. What I've been doing lately is tapping my container down on my paper, make sure there's none on the edge. Then I just kind of fold it and just kind of start tapping and tapping and tapping. And then you can kind of see on there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's a little bit of extra. What I do is I just take it upside down over my garbage, which I can't really show you because there's not enough room. And I just tap it. You can kind of hear me tap it. And that gets most of the extra powder off. So, but this is just copy paper, and I have a ton of copy paper around. So let's move that off to the side, and we're going to cover this because last night when I was doing my sample, I spilled it everywhere, of course. Yeah, Melissa, I don't think Melissa's in the path either. I think it's going to go west of her because it looked like it was going to hit more of the panhandle. But I want all of my crafty friends to be safe. All right, here we're going to do some heat setting. So I'm going to go ahead and I just heat it up a little bit. I will say this is one powder that I found that it was a little bit more difficult to see when it was shiny and when it was matte. But I think that was because it was on this. I have the shimmer already on my paper. So you can see me. Yeah, you can still see me down in the corner. I left myself up here. All right. Oh, yeah, that the bad storm in North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. So that's, we'll use our heat tool a little bit more, but there you can kind of see how beautiful that is. I'm gonna try to get it as close as I can. It is hard to see the shimmer on camera as much, but you can also see that pearl underneath. And then, so what I'm gonna do is, this is the Kindness Matters bundle, and it has this, I don't have the, oh, I do have the die set here. And then in the Kindness Matter die set, you can buy you can buy just the Kindness Matter stamp set. It is available separately. And this is the smile die. These are things that you can cut to make sequins, but I'm just going to use the smile tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in my container here and put this off to the side. And what I did is I just lined it up and I taped it down and I die cut it out of some that I already did. Like I said, I did this off camera, and I actually, because I used the A2 size, I could get two off of one. So I had my one from my sample and then the one for tonight that I already have pre-die cut. Oh, Ellen, lots of shopping. Well, that's fun. All right. So I'm going to put that off to the side and I'll put that die here. And then I'm kind of saving these because I think I can use these to make a card as well. And I think they're really pretty. They show some of that beautiful die set off. All right. So next, we need to choose some paper. Hi, Lisa. How are you? I really like the smile die too, Ellen. That and the hello die have been some of my favorites. Here's the Funky Florals paper pad. This is, I believe, the one that came in the box. It's been a hot minute, so forgive me. So they all come with, these are the coordinating at Phone Books, Scarlet, Midnight, Lunch Bag, Ray-Given, and Harvest are the coordinating colors. Those are the colors that are used in here. This is the back page where you can see all the designs. This now comes so you get all the patterns on one page, which is really fun. But the pattern I chose tonight, I think I'm going to choose a different pattern if you guys don't mind. I believe this is the one I used in my sample. but I think I'm going to use a different one tonight. I think we're going to use this one because we're not going to see that much of it. I'm covering up quite a bit of it with pattern papers and stuff. So I am going to do one more thing before I cut this down. I apologize. We got to do that. We need a piece of lunch bag cardstock. This is the other messy part. And it needs to be 5.5 by, I think, 2 inches. Let's measure that. 1, 2. Okay, we'll do it like this. 1, 2. So about 2.25. So I'm going to go at 2.5. Okay. Lisa, hi, Ruth from California. Welcome, join us. Sunny California. Lisa, I am 90. Well, we're here. We're at the house. Now, not all everything's in my craft room. 90% of it is, but I have a pile down there, a pile over there, and a pile over there, which you can't quite see unless you look at my little camera. But I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. I could really buckle down and do it, but I've been trying to craft too. So this is, I can't remember the name of this, if it's the Radiant. This is also part of the friendship release. Radiant Sun, I don't remember exactly. I'm sorry. But this little slim stencil is perfect for our card, I thought. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to tape it down. I really am just lining it up with the bottom of the sun rays. It doesn't really matter 100% if we get cut off some of the top, and I'm just kind of making it straight. I did not use pixie spray with this one. I usually do when I use glazes and gels. Sorry for my camera. I've been sticking all my little extra tapes on my camera base. And then what I did to pull out some more fun, Mari, I do not own a cat. I have a dog. His name is Fletch. And I have to tell you guys, we think he's hurt. We think he hurt his tail today. Not 100% sure. I can touch it, but it looks like I'm going to see in the morning if I need to take him to the vet. I think he's okay, but I think he might have just got a scratch on it. But like I could rub my I could rub my hands like that down it, and he didn't bite me or get mad. But I can tell he's not wagging his tail like he usually does. So, but no, I do not have a cat. I know I'm kind of sad. I took him for a long walk, and he walked really hard during it this afternoon. So I think it's just a little sore. So this glitter glaze is called Sunshine Yellow. I know, poor Fletch. I will be honest. He was laying in the bed with me last night. I was trying to finish one of my books, and he rolled off the bed, and I didn't see how he landed. So I don't know if maybe he just bruised himself because he fell off the bed, or if he was when he was running through the timber, if he caught it on a branch or something when he was with his daddy today. So, so he's just a little extra snuggly. So I've been babying him a little bit. So I am just kind of running a little bit of the Sunshine Yellow glitter glaze. Oh yes, cat believe all piles. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and my puppy's been pretty good. He came down flying downstairs. I don't know if it was last night or the night, a couple nights ago. I mean, he loves this place. He does hot laps. It's so funny. Up the stairs, down the stairs, around and round and round and round. Lots of circles. And he came flying down the stairs while we were eating dinner or something the other night, or I don't remember, or maybe somebody was over. We were just sitting at the table, and he's like, "It's a card," and I'm like, "No, I think it's just a scratch piece of paper. It's okay." I don't freak out too much. I usually put my cards up. He has eaten one of my projects. I sent that one in. I've told you guys that story before. I sent that into the store, and it's on the wall. But yeah, and he might have. Hi, Karen. Hope you're being okay. I know, Francie. He had the zoomies like crazy last night because we gave him a bath. And he loves baths when he gets in, but I think he doesn't like the bathtub in this new house because it's more constricted than the other, so it scares him. But once we get him in, he's okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And we're going to help this along a little bit. So first let me take this off. Let's get this going. I want to show you. Let's pull this off. Look at how pretty that is. So yeah, I don't know for sure. I'm keeping an eye on him. He's my baby, so I'll take care of him. Hi, Heather. So I'm going to show you what I do for stenciling. I have the stencil pan, and this is just some water in it. Now I can't show you because I cleaned it off, and but I have the stencil cleaner. And what I like to do, thank you. That stencil's called Sunshine. Okay. I am going to spray just a few squirts. And the reason I did a few squirts is because I have a glaze, and that's just my preference. And I just dump it upside down and I push it in and I leave it. Now, a card, I will show you one of the cards I made this weekend with, all right, you're painting with me tonight. That's perfect. One of the cards I made with the stencil of the month, and I used candy coat on it, and I let it sit in there. I didn't have to scrub it at all. I just let it sit. It sat in there. I actually dumped it out today, so it sat for a few days. But I'm just going to leave that off to the side, and it will be fine. And if I don't get to it tonight in the morning, there won't be anything to do, nothing to wipe off. So I love that. You have a friend with a blue tick hound that is just coming out of puppy. Oh yeah, mine is just coming out of puppy himself too. Okay, so now Heather's here, so she can correct me if I'm wrong. If it's clear based, which you can see obviously has a clear base, you can heat set it a little bit. So, and I did do this last night. So I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit so we can use this tonight. And I'm just kind of moving it around. I don't let it sit in one place. And I'm just gonna help it just speed up a little bit. It'll be okay if it's not completely dry because it'll help stick, but I'm gonna just help it a little bit. I thought you told me that, or I thought Christopher said that. Anyway, if I'm wrong, like I said, I did do it last night. I'm pretty sure he said that somebody said it at one point. But if it was clear, like the glitter glaze here. I do love that. Thank you, Michelle. I forgot to look the name of it up. All right. We're just going to heat set this just a little bit more. Just to kind of, and you can kind of tell because it gets a little bit more sparkly, in my opinion, as it dries. Now, I might have heat set that a little too close, but that's okay because I saw it really dry and fast. So we're going to go ahead and leave this off to the side now, and we're going to continue. Yeah, carefully. Yes, carefully. I did it a little too close because I did heat set this one last night. A lot of it, but I really kept it moving and I didn't put it in one spot. Now, when I'm live, I was watching comments, so I wasn't paying as close attention. Now we're going to cut our card panel down. I'm changing this up a little bit. I cut my panel down last night to 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to actually go to 3.75 by 5 because I want to matte this and I want a little bit more of the white to show. Oh yeah, Ellen, lucky duck for that. And then we're going to mat it on a little bit of this lunch bag. I don't know, I'm loving lunch bag right now. As you can see, I store all my scraps in here, including, see, I even have a stamp that's ready to go. Does the clear base sink into the cardstock? Mari, I know, but I don't think so. I'm not an expert in this. I just remember hearing it, and I'm pretty sure I heard it, Christopher said. I will tell you, I heated it really close right here. That is my fault. This one I heated completely and I was very careful just watching it, and look at how great it turned out. So if you get too close, it might dry it a little bit. It's kind of like embossing powder. If you dry it too much, heat it too much, it kind of, but we're going to cover some of that up. So we're not even going to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down in half. Harvest, yes, Ellen, I've used Harvest a couple of times already. It was not a color I thought I would probably use, but I'm using it more and more and more. And then I'm going to cut this to 4, even though I usually cut them right down to card. This is going to be too long for A2 card panel, but I want to save some of that. And then I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4. Okay. So this is kind of our base of that. And then this is going to go right on top, and we might cut it down a little bit more, but this is going to go. So like I said, we're not going to see all of that, and we might even be able to move it up a little bit more so we can see those flowers. Um, but you get the point. So that is our base there. And then we're going to next work on our smile. So I die cut this out ahead of time just because I didn't want to move my big die cutting machine over here. I also cut it twice out of some Not Your Mamas because I did glue it flat, but I want a little bit more dimension. So we're going to do that, and we're going to stack. So I hope you can bear with me. We're going to stack a little bit. We've got some time. I'm trying very hard not to listen to the TV downstairs. I really can't hear it, but my girl is playing basketball tonight. So I think it'll be about halftime. I'll catch the last quarter, so that's good. I knew that was going to happen tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and just push that together, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab. So like I said, I die cut this out ahead of time, and I just love how this big stamp kind of gave you a pattern. I mean, you could ink it, you could stamp it and ink blend it and do the same thing to cut out letters. It gives your die cut some pattern, or you could just stamp it in. Oops, I put that upside down. Or you could use the stamp and the stencil and all that stuff. So I think that's really fun. So now you can see how kind of thick that is. I'm trying to hold that up so you can kind of see. So it's a little bit thicker, but not so much with foam tape. I like foam tape. I just sometimes I don't want to cut it. And I do know that this holds up really, really well. And Not Your Mama's is one of the best for stacking because it's such a thick cardstock that if you stack up 3 and then put a color on top, it's super thick. It feels like chipboard. Oh, okay. Okay, I know. I'm apologize if I buffer a little bit. I saw that I lost connection for just a second. We're working still kind of with our internet. We really like it, but we think we're going to we might add another access point upstairs. So every once in a while, we get just this tiny little second to buffer. And if it does, trust me, I'll just pause because I can see it. Okay. So I see it ahead of time. So I'll know before you guys do. Yeah, stacked die cuts do a lot now. It was so funny. I showed Tom this card last night. He told me I spelled the word smile wrong, and I was so freaking out. Oh my goodness, Heather, that is some commitment. I'm sure if I asked Tom, because every once in a while when I'm doing something, he's like, "Do you need help?" But I usually tell him no. Oh, yes, I'm excited for fall into the holidays this weekend. I got my stuff. I'm super excited. I can't wait. There's so much. It's okay, Christy. That happens. I have a couple of things coming up. I think I have an event next weekend, and then the next weekend I'm actually going north, and I'm gonna spend some time with some girlfriends crafting for a few days. I'm super excited that I haven't seen in a while. So I love the fact that you'll be able to rewatch it. So Fletch and I plan to hide out in the house and craft all day. I'll take him for a long walk early in the morning, probably around 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then we're going to hide out in the house, as in just craft and pretend we're not home. I'm excited for that. Well, the best I can do is have Nat stamp return envelopes, address, and save them for Christmas cards. Oh, that's a lot of Christmas cards. So, and you're double answering. It's okay. That happens sometimes. Ellen, it's all right. It happens. It's one of those. I mean, oh, and then we also have another event coming up. is Jess's Slumber Party, which I believe is still available. It's $25. It's under the event page. It is virtual. It is virtual, Ellen. But maybe she's not able to attend this time, is what she means, even virtually. So, well, yeah, but I meant it's not in person, I think is what Francie meant. All right, so there's our die cuts all stacked up. I'm gonna go ahead and put my pin in so I don't forget that. And now we've got this. We need a sub sentiment and we need so it's kind of on here. We're still letting our thing dry up there. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I gotta take this off. It's starting to annoy me while I'm crafting. I don't usually wear jewelry at all. Next, we are going to, I have a tiny, tiny, tiny piece. Hi, Allison from Alabama. I'll be slumber partying too. I have this tiny piece, a leftover piece of aqua pigment paper. And if I can find my mini Misty. Christy. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stamp out the stamp of the month. We are adding that to our card. And how I like to store if I have add-on sets, I kind of put them separate, but I put my stamp of the month when there's just, when it comes to just, if there's just one stamp and one stamp, or a stamp in the box and a stamp of the month, I put them together. So that way I'm not wasting a small little pouch, or I can't find our little pouches. So I do put them together. So welcome to us. Oh, Christy, you got your kit today. I had a Happy Deal mailed on Monday. That came and I had a Stamptember set that I ordered come, and what else came? Oh, Bruce Monroe order came. No, I ordered from Miss Gina too. But I did get the rest of my Palooza stencils today that I have ordered, so I'm excited for that. I barely even had a chance to open them. And I got the add-on Stamptember stencils, so I'm excited for those too. Yeah, Ellen, I started doing that. I used to store 2 stamp of the months together in a small pouch, but it widens out it takes a lot of room in my stamp, and spaces, so I started storing them with like I said, the big stamp set, or if there's an add-on set, I'll put it in with that, because then they kind of evens things out. So I stamped it several times because I also did re-ink this. Did they start mailing the Spooky Friends out? I believe they're going to start. Oh, look at what I did, you guys. I threw my ink pad on and I squished it on my smile. It's okay. It'll be fine. We'll add some splatter to it. Nobody would ever know. I don't even have a project for that yet. And while my Misty's out, I'm going to go ahead and use this scrap piece of paper, and we're going to stamp our sub-sentiment out. And the sub-sentiment is coming from the stamp set. So it is the sweetest little butterfly. And we are using this. I love it. This ended up coming out as, thank you for always making me smile. So you could, if you just have this stamp set, you could make this card, and you could, do a big heart, a big die cut. You could do the same thing, but instead of cutting out smile, you could do a heart, use the vintage doily, you could use a circle, you could do a heart, you could do any kind of shape and use this stamp set instead. But I am going to go ahead and we're just going to put this up here. Use this, but what we're going to do is we're going to grab a piece of, let me see, washi tape here that I'm peeling off my camera. I'm probably shaking you guys. Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah, that's what I like to do too, is I do that. I do the same thing. Yeah, I know somebody used it recently and it was very precious. I hadn't used it yet until today. This is one of the things I hadn't used yet. I think it was Andrew as well. I know he had one using this. So what I did is I just covered up the smile part with some tape. So I'm hoping you can see that. And then we're going to use Raven ink. And we're going to ink this up now. Like I said, I re-inked this right before, so I shouldn't have to double stamp this. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull off. You could wipe this off if you wanted to. I just kind of pull it off if I can get my finger on it. I have tweezers to get my finger under it. All right. Stick that down. And we're just going to stamp this down, and I'm just running my finger over it. Now, I did learn one thing with this table is because this is a piece that would fold up and fold down to give you more. I do sometimes have a little bit. Yeah, I didn't stamp it very well. I'm going to grab another piece, a new piece of that tape. Because I really don't need to cover the whole thing. I just need to cover the edge of it. Let's ink this up better. Like I said, I go through a lot of Raven Detail ink, you guys, because I use it for everything. Oh, that was not Raven ink. Okay, let's stamp that out with Raven ink. That was the embossing ink. That's what happens when you're live and you have multiple ink pads on your table. Let's move that. You could put this on white and use an ink, a colored ink, like a red or a yellow ink, so that it ties more in. I'm going to stamp one. There's Fletch. He might think it was Mama. Because sometimes when Mama's upstairs pushing on things, he thinks somebody's coming to attack us. But we do have a couple people that walk in the neighborhood, and he doesn't like the fact that the dogs are barking. So, all right. So there we go. Thank you for always making me and then smile. I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side for now. We don't need this anymore. Fletch, yes. I told my niece to cut apart words last week, and you would have sworn I told her normally that's the one thing I would have done, Alan, is cut that off. But that was, since it's just one word and I wanted it long anyway, I could just cover it up. But I do cut stamps apart, yes. So I do like how crisp it is. All right, so now we've got this aqua pigment paper. I'm going to do a little bit of watercoloring here because we have some time. So I got my stick and stamp pigment palette. We're going to grab a little bit of the tangerine orange. We don't need a lot. And a little bit of the bumblebee yellow. And because we want to make it fun, oh, I know, it is funny. He sounds so ferocious sometimes. I'm going to add the pearl, and I'm going to put a little pearl in each because I want it to be shimmery. And but I don't. My sample, I just used aqua, or I just used I just used alcohol markers. But we're going to go ahead and mix this in really, really well. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some water as well. I'm going to grab my stencil. I use my stencil towel for everything. Okay. So I think for my sample, I don't remember what, oh yeah, I did do the orange. We're going to do the orange up top here. Now forgive me if I don't do this the perfect way. I don't have my glasses handy. Yeah. All right. I'm just reading the comments about Christy said she used to be scared. Now she doesn't think twice. If you were talking about the Raven ink, that is 100% true. Sorry, I don't always see everything. Now, usually when I do watercoloring, I usually heat emboss and make the little wedges. Tonight, we're just going wild and crazy. Now, we could have stamped this butterfly out in the embossing powder. That would have been really pretty too. But tonight, we're just going with the Raven. Would have made it really sparkly. So I'm going to go ahead and grab just a little bit more here down at the bottom, just to give it some texture, not texture, dimension, some shading, just a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes, Ruth. I watched enough people do it that to me, I'm like, I get it. You just have to be careful so that you can line it back up. And I like the companies that do that, that do kind of set them up. I mean, if you cut them right, you should be able to line them just perfectly back up against each other. And it works, especially now that we have a Misty. So yeah, I used to have to cut them out of that too. So I also did the little bit of lines in orange, and then I'm gonna do just a dab in this the little dot. It's so little, we don't even see that one. All right, and then we're gonna add a little more water to my brush, and we're gonna mix the bumblebee yellow and the pearl together. And the only reason is because I wanted a sparkly butterfly. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of paint that in. I have way too much ink on my paintbrush, so I'm gonna try to sop some of it up and just kind of dab it in other spots. I'm only kind of trying to use the two colors here because we don't really need to add another color. And I mean, you could make the body a different color. I just thought I would use the two colors. And that is our little sweet butterfly. Now, like I said, I'll show you my sample, which gives you another option. I'm going to set my paintbrush down so it dries. On my sample, I did the tri-blend markers, and I colored it with just a little bit of pearl on top. So it's a little bit darker. So that's your choice if you would want to use alcohol markers or colored pencils or something. We're going to hit this real quick with some heat just to dry it. And just like that, we're dry because we didn't use a lot of water. Now, one way I've been told that, Melissa, no, not tonight. It's me tonight. Let's see. Let's go on with our Sizzix. I grabbed my little old Sizzix die cut machine, and I'm going to go ahead and use my die for the die of the month. If you want the stamp of the month, if you get the Stamp Club Plus, you will get the die and the stamp. And I will cut this out. I love that they cut out. And this is one of the reasons why I changed my thing up a little bit, because there's a little bit of the white showing on the butterfly. Like if you wanted to fussy cut it, if you fussy cut it, you could cut right on the edges and you wouldn't have that extra color. And then that white. But that's why I decided to cut my card down just a hair so that, oops, forgot this is the one that likes to. Now this, okay, there we go. That way it has, you add that extra white in. Of course, the die cutting machine. Whew, it's an old die cut machine. It squeals. Did you guys hear that squeaky, squeaky? All right. Now here's another one where you could cut out multiple layers and layer it together. But I am going to go ahead and just use the one and use some foam tape tonight because I love the Brutus Monroe foam tape. I'm going to stick these little pieces back on my camera thing. And let's see here. What am I doing here? Okay, we got this. All right, we're going to start putting our card together. Now I'm not going to leave this. I'm going to go ahead and grab, let's see, do I have some paper here handy? Yeah, I have a small piece of aqua pigment paper. What I'm going to do is spritz this with water. And we're just going to squish it on. And I don't care if they mix or they match. We're just going to do some little, see, I'm just going to do some other, this is kind of what I like to do when I have extra aqua pigments laying out. Hey, Pop Pop, everyone heard you. They heard you protecting us. Fletch is loving the new bedroom. He just pops up in my bed all the time. He likes that Mommy can craft and he can go in the bed. And then I'm just going to put this aside to dry. And then we will lop it off. Let's see here now. We are going to go ahead and change to putting the card together. All right, we haven't cut that down yet. We'll do that. Let's get everything put on here. Yeah, the old ink smushing, that is one of my favorite ways to use up. Oh, my tape burner did not want to stick. To use up, especially when I have a lot. And you know what? Then it creates me a whole bunch of backgrounds or a whole bunch of pieces that I can use for die cuts or backgrounds or just little pieces here and there, and they're already dry. you know, because we sometimes we want to make a card, but we don't have time to sit and wait for something to dry, or it's something that can't be heat embossed, or I mean dried with a heat tool, especially if you have just like a gun like I do versus a one that has the drying setting. Mine's like just an embossing gun. So smooshing versus smushing. Smooshing. I like smooshing too. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and put this next. Now, so you can see this is dry. So, and it's going to go, but I think I'm going to cut it down just a hair. Smooshing sounds so, yes, you're right. Smooshing sounds so much better. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off just a little bit. And I am going to go down to 2 inches. So this might be a little bit different than my other one. Like I said, we're changing things up just a hair, but we're doing kind of the thing. So that we're doing the same card, we're just kind of changing it a little bit. So I'm going to cut that off, and it looks like it's longer, which I'm okay with right now because it's going to go on my card base, which is hiding here on my very, very messy table. I've got one of our A2 card bases here. It is hiding. Let's go ahead and put this on there first. Of course, I hit my mouse, which puts things up. It is so much more satisfying, yes, just even to say that, yes. We're going to go ahead and this. I was going to say, Mom, I know you were joining us, and I appreciate it. I hope you're paying attention to both. I know you're probably watching the basketball game too, but I appreciate you watching. This is the reason why I added that little bit, cut it weight down, because that little bit of extra white, I mean, we have the white in the flower, but that little bit of extra white matches the border from our butterfly. And then I'm going to go ahead and last night when I was doing this, it wasn't quite dry. So I did kind of eyeball where to put my glue. Tonight, I'm not going to worry about it quite so much. I'm just going to put extra on so that, because I know I'm going to cut it off. And then kind of, if I have a little extra tape on the sides, I kind of push it over. And then I'm just going to go ahead and, oh no, okay, didn't just fell. I am going to keep kind of centering it because then I have that little bit of flour on each. Now this is your choice. You could cut down the sides so that it matched up exactly with the other lunch bag, but I wanted to do that this way. Cut down our sentiment. You are, okay, good. Good. Hope you're cheering hard for me. I know that I know Minnesota plays after. And I'm gonna watch that when we're done. So when I like to cut my long sentiment strips down, I like to do the long sides first because I have a little bit more in my cutter, and then I could hold it faster or easier. I figure if I do the side pieces first, sometimes I cut it down just a little bit too much, and I can't quite get my fingers in there to hold it with the guard in the way. So did I miss a question, Mari? I'm going back up here a little bit. Oh, yep. I was just reading. I'm just looking to see. I want to make sure I didn't miss a question. If I did, I apologize. You can ask me again. All right. Okay, so then we've got our little thank you. This is another spot where you can center it. I'm going to go over to the right a little bit. That's kind of how I liked it. I'm going to show just a little bit of the blue. We're going to put it there, and then we're going to line up our smile. And tonight, I think what we're going to do is I lined it up on my grid mat before and taped it. I'm not going to worry about that so much because I'm going to use the bottom. I mean, we could do it up higher, I guess, if we wanted to, but I do want to kind of do it down low. We might even kind of pop this up too. I haven't decided that part. That's, like I said, I'm making a little changes. So we're going to start with the eye. Now we're just still on smooshing. Okay. Hey, ink smushing, I haven't done it in a long time. We'll have to do that on a live soon. Because ink smushing is one of my favorite things. So I'm going to go ahead and just line up it using the bottom of I'm kind of eyeballing it. If it's not quite center, it's okay. And then I'll go on each side and we'll add an L, then the M, then the E. So I'm just going to use my Bearly Arts glue here. So I do want to remember, I mean, I know I talk about it each week, but don't forget you still have a couple of days left to sign and participate in the CYOE challenge on Facebook. It is pattern paper this month. So like this card would work because I'm using pattern paper. So you need to use one Brutus Monroe product, and this month you have to use pattern paper. And then you can enter it up to 2 projects. They don't have to be cards. They can be scrapbook pages or mixed media. And you need to use this hashtag CYOE because otherwise I might not see it. That is one of the requirements. And it is a random drawing. I put all the names in a random drawer or wheel, and I kind of like today's live with the numbers, and I let it spin until it comes, and then I take a picture of it. And then I let you guys know who's the winner. And I will do that on Monday. And then Tuesday will be the new October challenge, which I'm still kind of debating what I want to do yet. I have an idea, but I haven't decided 100%. So this is where I think I don't think I'm gonna cover this up. I mean, if you were gonna do vellum, you could do vellum and you could put it right on there, but I want to just do it up where I had it. I know. Christy. Oh yes, yeah, Christy won last month. I can't believe it's the end of September. This month is flying by, but I moved at the end of August, and there was a holiday in there, of course, and it's just been nuts because my mom came to visit me at the end of August, and so that was a month ago already. If you can believe that. So we've got that. I love using liquid glue because you can move it around just a little bit. So here's the majority of our card. Now we need to add our little butterfly. So I'm going to go move my water here so I don't spill it. I'm going to use some of this is our big foam tape. Love it. Comes in little sections. Now I do have a small piece off to the side that I'm going to use. So what I like to do is, you can see here, if I'm going to use a whole piece for like a background, I'll peel it off and I leave this on, or here's a small piece. And then when I want a small piece, I'll peel it off and stick it back on like I did here. And then when I go to cut it, it won't stick to my scissors. So we're going to go ahead and stick that down. I'm going to go ahead and just cut a big piece here first. I'm going to cut it right in half. And stick that piece right there. And I always kind of check because sometimes I cut them a little long and just make sure I don't see the edge of that. And then, excuse me. to be honest with you, I am ready for September to be over because I am ready for freezing temperatures and get rid of the bugs, kill the flowers, kill the plants off, get rid of the allergies, and I'm just ready to be toasty warm. So, and then I kind of just keep these small pieces like this and kind of just, I have a little, I just got it from the Dollar Spot or Dollar Tree or something. It's just a little makeup organizer, and I have that on my desk. And I bought it a long time ago, and now that I'm in this craft room, I've been using it to kind of hold some of the products that I've been using during the night. I'm going to leave the lid off that. And then I throw kind of the small pieces. I have a random die that I found. I'm not 100% sure which. I think the lady, she sent it to me as I bought some D-Stash stuff, and I know it goes with one of the 2 stamp sets, but I haven't investigated. Lantern flies. I don't know what a lantern fly is. Are you talking about like lightning bugs? I'm talking about mosquitoes, flies, and because it got warm out today and we're getting into harvest, we're getting into box elder bugs coming out. And here in the next 3 weeks, especially because my daughter's birthday is the 16th of October, the Japanese beetles, because the farmers start cutting the corn and they come out everywhere. And they stink when you kill them. Okay, so here's the main part of our card. It's almost time up, but we're gonna do one small little change. We're gonna add some gems, but I gotta grab them, okay? Because they're over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the topaz. Oh, no, I don't know if I want you to send me a picture. No, it's okay. They kind of remind me of like our mayflies probably, or our fish flies. And oh, the killer bees. If you want to know what a killer bee in my, it's not, they're actually harmless. It's the cicada killers. You have to check those out, look them up. They're about this long and they bzz you, but they do not sting you. They scare the crap out of me. I scream. I used to scream when they'd fly by me because bees terrify me. But I finally I mowed the lawn. I think was it last summer, and I mowed, or no, 2 summers ago, and I was like so proud of myself. I was like, woo, because I mowed and didn't even scream once or run or cry when they buzzed me because they live in the ground. So it is a very cute. Oh, Melissa, yeah, we were outside the other night and they were biting. With the puppy wanted to play. I found an old soccer ball in the garage here, and it's deflated a little bit. So he wanted to play, and I had 3 mosquito bites by the end of the night. All right, you guys. So here is my card, B-52s. That's what we call them. That's funny. So I love how it turned out. Here was my sample. So it's just a little bit different. Now I want to show you a couple other cards I've made. I haven't shared on social media yet. Let's see if I can find them. All right. Okay. What stick tool is that? Oh, no, that's not Francie. Get the goggles. That's over there. This is the tailored expression. The one for Francie is over on my desk. I just didn't move it over here yet. Thank you. Hi, Cherie. Thank you. Where's your stick? All right. I'm not even going to warn you. Just going to poke you. It's right here. Here, I'll put it in my little bin. It's here for us for next time. I forgot it. Like I said, I'm still rearranging all my stuff. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Mari. Thank you, Francie. Okay. So I'm going to show you 2 cards. Yeah, I bought it actually at Stamp Joy when I was there a couple years ago. Christopher taught at Stamp Joy, and Stamp Joy is only about 3.5 hours from me. And so I bought it in her store, but they sell them, I'm a believe in her store. So it's the same as like I mean, it's just different color, a little different size, but it works the same as the one that Christopher has, the Gina K. I just happened to be in the location when so I bought this one because I think they came out around the same time. And instead of paying for an order to ship, I just ordered. I was just there at the store. Okay, so here's a card I made using the same stamp set. And I use the embossing powder. I just put it on an angle. Oh, you're welcome, Kate. You're welcome. Oh, I'm so sad, Isis. I'm not going. I didn't go last year or this year. I wanted to, but I couldn't. If Krista was going to come, I probably would have figured out a way to come on Saturday. So, because it's not that far away from me, it's only about 3.5 hours. I miss Taylor. I haven't seen her now in 2 years, so I want to get down there and see her. But this is the Midnight cardstock, and I just cut a tiny little sliver. And then this is a double-sided adhesive with the tangerine glitter. That's the new glitter. That's the glitter that came in the box. Thank you. So I think I uploaded these to our website. So this is the tangerine glitter. This came in the box. I'll show it to you here quick. And I just rubbed it in really good onto some double-sided like adhesive. Just that tear tape type stuff you would use. Yep. And I brushed it real good. And then, and I went, and I mean, I'm going to probably rub a little off because there's some on the top, and then I kind of did over that. So thank you, you guys. I did it just kind of at an angle and cut it down. So I haven't put it on a card base yet. And then my other one, are you ready? This is the stencil of the month. And I love this one. Look at this one. So this stamp is from the stamp set this month. The Funky Florals. Yeah, Francie, loose glitter came in the box. I love the loose glitter. It's very, very, very thing. Well, Melissa, you could use embossing powder and cut one off like that. Thank you. So what I did with this is I used pixie spray to spray down, and I only used the Roy and the Biv embossing or simple blend inks, the tricolor ink pads, and the new Christopher Signature brushes. And I just blended. That's only ink colors I used on this. And I wasn't really like being super careful with the colors, as you can see. I'll get it a little closer. And then what I did is I left everything in place because I used a lot of pixie spray. And so I knew that I couldn't do heat embossing with it because I would have normally done like fairy dust or pearl because I used so much pixie spray that it would stick to those areas. So and that's because I wanted to have it stick down really well. So what I did is I used the pearl candy coat over the top. So I'm going to kind of go like this so you can kind of see it. Yeah, she does. She doesn't have to use it. And then I just used a circle die from my stash to cut it out. And because I didn't stamp it or I didn't stencil it out completely, like I just used an A2 card size, I just cut it in the corner. This is some more Midnight cardstock. And then this ink pad is actually the Midnight Snack from Simon Hurley Creates. How did I use the pearl candy coat? I just, I'll show you a quick sample. Okay, let us grab a stencil from Stencil Palooza. I haven't even opened it yet. Okay, we're gonna go over a little bit. I hope that's okay with you guys. Thank you. Oh, it's okay. There can be both team glitter and no glitter. It's all up to everybody. Melissa could use the glistening leaves embossing powder or some glitter glaze and then chop it down, or just some specialty cardstock. So this is the day 15 hanging ornaments. I have a piece of paper right there. So I'm going to pixie spray this. Okay. Thank you, Melissa. All right. Now I pixie sprayed it a lot. And that's only because I like to use a lot of pixie spray when I use glazes, especially when they have little thin lines like this. Let it dry. Hopefully it'll work perfectly. Now it won't dry perfectly for us tonight, guys, because it's gonna have to dry overnight. Yeah, Team Sparkle. I always say, yeah, you got to use a lot more. So I'm going to go ahead and it's going to take a little bit to ink blend, but we'll go ahead and use these inks, the Roy inks. So these brushes are perfectly designed to, fit in because there's 3 colors in each, red, orange, yellow. That's why this is Roy. And I'm just going to kind of do a little blending. This is going to be super fast, but because we're going to put paste over it, you don't have to worry about your blending being perfect. Now, what I am going to try to do is I'm going to try to not go outside the lines too much with my ornaments. Okay. So we're just going to do a little darker spots here and there, and then lighter towards the edges. I'm just trying to be very careful. Now there's a little bit of a bevel on that, so you can kind of just do a little. I mean, this card would be easy to do with for Christmas cards. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Biv. I mean, this is Roy and this is G-Biv, really, because there's the green in here. We'll add the green here. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any comments while I'm coloring too. I'm not going to worry about getting the hanging part so much because we can add a gem on there to make that part kind of sparkle. We can add a crystal gem to that. All right. Now, hopefully I used the right brush. Okay. Because the other day I was using, and I grabbed the wrong brush and I got a little bit of blue on mine, which is fine. It happens. Just wipe it off or use the stencil brushes. Yep, Team Bling. Yep. I like it. It's the sugar. Add the sugar to your card. All right. Like I said, I'm not worrying too much if the blend is perfect. Just trying to get the color on there. We got the red, they got the green, and then let's do purple, because purple's my favorite. Lighten up, Francis. Hey, we all have our choices. Okay. I'm just making sure I get some on my hands. So we're going to get the purpley on here. Our indigo. Like I said, if you're going to do glazes over it, a lot of times you don't have to be super perfect with your blend. You can also do some splattering. If you want. Sorry, I'm concentrating a little bit. Okay, now we need to give a little bit of color to the background. Not going to do a ton of color, but I think I'm going to pull in just a different. I'm going to pull in. Where is it? My wolf. I'm going to pull in my wolf. Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, Francie. I've seen it. It's just been a long time. All right, let's see if I can find my. Oh, that's black. All right. We're just going to add a little bit of color to the edges just to break up that white a little bit. So it's not quite so, and give it some definition in the corners. I'm kind of going to the edges of the ornament here a little bit, just to, like I said, give it some shadow so it's not so boring. Boring white. Yeah, I've seen it. It's just been a long time since I've seen that movie. Our oldest was a Marine. So I didn't see that movie. Tom introduced me to that movie. I'd never seen it. I don't even remember if I've really ever heard of it, but he showed it to me and I thought I like that movie. It's a good movie. So, all right. So just add a little bit of color. Now this is where you're going to be kind of careful. I'm going to bring it up a little closer. I'm just going to use the corner of my cloth and I'm going to go ahead and just wipe. And the reason I'm doing this is it kind of helps take that extra ink off my candy coat. And it also will help kind of push that stencil down. And I'm being careful so I don't accidentally push some of that color over onto the white areas. Okay, you don't have to do this. What I would recommend if you're not going to do this is you put the candy coat. I have that cover die too, Francie. It was one of the first ones I bought. The stencil does remind me from that. I actually just saw a background I made from it the other day. So here's the candy coat pearl. The pearl, obviously Pearl of Everything is my favorite. When I saw this pearl at Crate and Ending last year, there was 3 jars left, and I may have bought all 3. So too close. One to use and dirty up, and one to have clean. Oh yeah, I have 2 as well. I think the one is still in its bag. So now, if you're not going to clean off your stencil, what I recommend you doing is taking some out and putting it on here, because the ink can transfer, and you don't want to put it back in there. I'm going to use plenty of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and this is how I did it. I just spread it over it. So it's just like any other glaze. And guys know me, Fallen Snow, Pearl. Fallen Snow would be beautiful over this. And you could take your time and mask off the ornaments and do the ornaments with like a glitter glaze, like the Fallen Snow, and the background with like a candy coat or the shimmer glaze or something. And you would get a very shimmery card with different looks. So now, like I've said this before, and I know I don't always practice what I preach, try very carefully to go one direction, in my opinion, is the best way to get the best, smoothest coat, and you don't accidentally So now I can see that there's no glitter. There's none on this. So no color. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in my bin. If there was color in it, I would just throw it away. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my Stencil Pal because I have some extra on here. This is just, you can do the Simon Hurley one. This is ones from, I have the Simon Hurley ones and I have the Decofoil ones. And I'm just going to kind of pull it down just to kind of even it off a little bit. And I can still see this is very clean because I wiped my stencil off. So I can put this back in the jar and it won't transfer any color. That was one of the reasons I did that. Okay. I'm going to throw this right in my stencil bin. And I am going to grab a baby wipe. Francie, it's a good thing. I mean, I don't use it as often. I kind of forget about it sometimes. I tend to grab the chroma glazes and shimmer or glitter glazes more, but I do like the candy coat. I just forget sometimes about it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that lid back on there, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off just so it's clean. And that's garbage too. I'm going to wipe it down because I'm going to let this sit here overnight and dry. And I will take a picture of it tomorrow. Oh, I love the stencil bin too. Okay, are you ready? Here is the reveal. Oh, Francie, that's sorry. That makes me happy. All right, 1, 2, 3. Now it's going to be a little hard to see the, the very, very shimmerness of the pearl because it's not dry. But I'm going to grab this, throw that in the stencil bin. I just kind of pushed it in because there's a couple stencils in there now. Now, what you can do is, I'm not worried about the edges, going to cut this down. There's a little bit of there's part of the consumable is in this. There's little pieces in here that help make it fun with the candy coat. I'm just going to push it down so that it's on the edge. I'm probably just going to cut this completely down off, but see, and that's how I use it. It's very, very, very fun. Let me see. I'm going to go to my drawer of awesomeness. I only have one jar of pearl left, you guys. Oh my goodness. The green is gone. I used up all my green. I think I put some on an order today. So we've got pink. We've got yellow, which I'm almost out of as well. I might have to leave this on the counter so I don't forget to order some. There's teal. Purple. They're all different funds. Oh, can I zoom in on the card? I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up closer to you guys because it doesn't like to zoom in too much. And there's the orange. So let me bring it up. Once I'm live, it doesn't like to let me zoom in so much until I get like a fancy thing. Yeah, they're all beautiful. Oh, you're welcome, you guys. If there's something you want me to use on a live, don't ever hesitate to put it in the Brutus Monroe Fan Club page or during a live, or even a comment on one of my videos, just say, hey, Candy, will you use this? I want to see you use this. Because that always sometimes gives me options too of different things to use if I have something I haven't used for a while. So when this dries, it will dry shimmery and more clear because it's the pearl. And I'm gonna, so you can see the little bits. There's a little bit right there. You can see those sparkly bits in there. Okay. So I will say, I'm a big, look at me, pearl, shimmer splash, pearl shimmer spray. I mean, the pearl shimmer spray is sitting right here. So obviously pearl is one of my favorites. You can also get the same effect with I don't know if it's the opal or if the pearl chroma glaze. I know there's one or the other. I can't remember what the name of it is. Oops. I just sent ink pads flying. That is not good. Put the cover on that. All right, you guys. It is going to look cool. I will take a picture of it. I will let it dry tonight. I will get a picture of it tomorrow and I will get it posted. Obviously, I won't probably have a card made with it until I'm done, but I can at least show you what that looks like. This is a fabulous stencil. Like I said, this is stencil number 15, Hanging Ornaments from Stencilpalooza. So if you want to grab that, I mean, it makes some obviously fun cards. Ooh, that's good. The embossing glaze. I'm glad you got that too. Pearl is my jam. Yep. Ruth, I will have it next week, and I will also take a picture of it. I can't promise I'll have it next week, but I'll have a picture of it because I may be sending some of my products into the store. But I will post a picture of it. I don't think I can show a picture of it on YouTube, but I can put it in the fan club group and I can put it on my Instagram, which is Sugar Cards. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much. Have a great Pearl Jam. Yeah. Have a great evening. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week. Have a great rest of September. Stencilpalooza is almost over. So make sure you grab those. And don't forget that there is a flash sale going on. You can scan that QR code up in the corner if you want and see what is on sale. So have a great evening, everybody. And don't forget to create something fun, as Christopher would say, every day, and or create your own ending.